Greetings, everyone. Hi, how is everybody today? Let me say happy Emancipation Day to all of you, those of us who are recognizing Emancipation Day today in whichever part of the Caribbean that you are, whichever part of the world that you are. You may be from the Caribbean but living or residing elsewhere. I want to extend a happy Emancipation Day to all of you. Definitely for me, it is a public holiday here in the Turks and Caicos. Today, Friday. Interestingly, I know, for example, in Dominica, it will be on Monday, and other parts of the Caribbean, it will be on Monday. But generally what we do is observe Emancipation Day, and of course that is valuable to our history. It's valuable to us as a people, who we are today, why we are free, why we are able to live lives today, and be able to go about our daily, making our own living, making our own decisions, not depending on a massa or somebody to sort of give us, who has control of our lives directly, and give us orders and so on. However, I will quickly say I do know too that in various parts of the world, and even in our own locality, sometimes it is said that we are free but we are not, because our minds may not necessarily be as free as they ought to be. Some people are bound by mental illness, some people are bound by just a lack of knowledge, ignorance, as it's called. Some people are bound by just a belief system that they have developed that to them is the answer. All of us have things in our lives that we hold tight to that may not necessarily be reflecting emancipation for us in the eyes of somebody else. Bob Marley sang that great song, Emancipate Yourself from Mental Slavery. Mental slavery is a crucial thing. People try to take hold of people's minds, because if they do, they feel that they have a lot of power over that individual. Not they feel, but in reality, that's what it is. And so I urge us all to continue to learn, continue to be aware, continue to listen to the important things that would sort of help us to be independent in our thoughts, independent in our actions. Obviously, some things are beyond us by power. The way the world is being played now, for example, through geopolitics of the world, we recognize that some things we do not really hold the power over. A lot of the decisions that come from high places are not necessarily our decisions, are not necessarily things that we have power over, but we are called all the same to be aware of what is happening in our surroundings, and to make decisions that are going to benefit us in the long term. We know of that term, institutional slavery, institutional oppression. Some of those things happen through very formal settings, where people design ways in which to keep a certain race or a certain religion or a certain belief system, to keep it bound so that people will not rise. There are lots of mental tricks, you could say, that are being played on people in the world, in different, from the small places to the high places, in public sector, in private sector, among governments, among non-governmental organizations. It's just things that are happening in the world every day that tries to hold people bondage, because if people can hold us bondage, then they can have all the power over us to do what they want, to determine what we do, and that we serve them and their own selfish interests. But at the end of the day, we are called to be aware. As I said, we are called to open our minds, to pray for wisdom, because wisdom is of God, and when you have wisdom, people can't take that from you like that. And so there is wisdom, there is discernment, which is a gift of the Holy Spirit, rather, that we can pray for and have. And when we have them, the Lord guides us very often. And things, even before things happen, He directs His people. But I'm saying a lot in one little nutshell here, just saying to us, on this blessed day, when we stop to think about our emancipation, we think about the sacrifice of the people who went before us and the pains that they endured, we must stop to also recognize that we ourselves in today's world need to be aware. We need to ensure that what we do with our time, what we do in our lives, are valuable. They are making sense. They are bringing, good results, first of all, to our own lives, and then to the lives of those we encounter on a regular basis. Being aware, not putting our heads down in the sand, not necessarily getting involved in all yin hang, in all situations, in all problems, but making sure that we are aware that when it's time for us to make decisions, we are clear on making not just crazy decisions, but informed decisions, that we make our decisions based on information, based on research, based on empirical evidence, sometimes based on enough experience that we have had that has taught us, okay, this is for me, this is not for me. Okay, I can go this way, I should not go that way because, and there should be a because that we can answer for ourselves. So I urge us today to embrace and to recognize and to respect the sacrifices made for us by our forefathers, by our ancestors, and we thank them. You know, may their souls rest in peace. May the souls of all their descendants and all the people that they have born throughout the years before our time, that their souls rest in peace. But that know that we are here, that we will continue to embrace and respect their sacrifice, their suffering, and make it meaningful by ensuring that we preserve our democracies, we preserve our freedoms as nations, as individuals, as families, as people, that we preserve our individualities, first of all, who we are, love who we are, appreciate who we are. And so happy Emancipation Day to you today. May God bless you. May God bless our nations. May God keep our nations safe from those who have high power, who tend to want to exploit our region and exploit our nations for their own selfish gains. May God preserve, protect us, cover us, and give us the wisdom that we need in order to continue to make good decisions and to be independent nations. Independent nations. Independent nations. Yes, that's what I said. God bless you. Thank you for viewing, and come again.